Wait, that room wasn't there before. I don't think.
I'm glad you're...
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Ethel Harding must have put my pack here. It makes sense. Better place to sleep than the infirmary. Guess I can spare a few moments to unpack my things. Best drink of my whole life. Fresh water from this pitcher after Varric and I got out of the trap set by that double-crossing noble. We didn't know how close he was to the throne of Ravane, or that stopping him would get me kicked out of the Lords of Fortune until the heat dies down. Who cares about the politics? I kept a dangerous artifact out of Venatori hands. The Lords should have had my back. A peddler gave me this after I saved his caravan from bandits. He was so impressed with the vitar that Qunari wear to protect our faces, and the fireworks he saw at the Ravani festival. Said he had no idea my people were such accomplished alchemists. He had fancy silks from Orlais, statuettes from the wilds down south. I could have listened to stories all night about places he'd been. Now I'm getting to see some of those places myself. Meditation upon the use of blades. Must have read this thing cover to cover a dozen times during weapons training. The number of times I banged my head against this book trying to make the concepts work. But that training has kept me alive so far. Varric and his life lessons. I asked him how we were supposed to stop Solus, and he gave me this. Take a long, hard look at it, kid. It'll always show the face of a hero who can get it done. I don't know if I see a hero's face, but it's a face that's seen a lot. Got a few new scars, some that show up in a mirror, some that don't. But Varric believed in me then, and he believes in me now. I can do this. Right, that's better. Now, how do I connect to Solus? Just sleep? Or relaxing? Maybe if I clear my mind.
Back so soon. It must have been worse than I had thought.
Hello, Dreadwolf.
But perhaps I am mistaken. You may be here to correct me, to tell me that my concerns were unfounded. Perhaps nothing escaped as you stopped me from... what was it? Covering the world with demons?
As you clearly already knew, something did escape. Elganon and Gillenane. Blighted.
Thank you for letting me know.
You'll recall I also said that you don't get to sit back and look smug.
What else could I be doing?
I need to know what the gods are planning.
You are asking for knowledge no mortal in this world is privy to. If I am to share it with you, I need to know what makes you the right person to lead the fight against Elganon and Gillenane.
Someone has to do something. I may not be the right person for this job, but I'm the only one left.
So your call to action is that any attempt is better than none?
Back in the Lords of Fortune, I was hired to accompany this noble who was hunting for an old relic. The noble betrayed us and left us to die in an ancient ruin collapsing around us.
But you escaped with your team and then tracked down and prevented the noble from selling the relic to the Venatori.
How'd you know that?
You helped Varric pursue me for the better part of a year. It would have been foolish not to learn about who was hunting me.
Then you know that if someone has to make a call, I'll do it.
I suppose I was not so different when I started.
Started what?
My rebellion against the Evanuris. The elven gods, as you call them. They wish to reclaim their dominion over this world. To accomplish that, they will need two things. First, the Blight. What exists in this world is a bare fragment of its power. The rest is imprisoned, until they release it.
What would they need to do to free the Blight? And how do we stop them from doing it?
They will need to pierce the veil to reach the Blight's prison. My lyrium dagger is one of the few artifacts capable of doing so.
We've already recovered it from the ritual site.
Excellent. Then they will have to make their own. That will give you time.
You said the gods needed two things, and the Blight is the first. What's the second?
Followers. They have called themselves gods. And what is a god without worshippers to sing their praises?
You think they want the elves back? I don't think the elven people will bend a knee to blighted murderous monsters.
Agreed. Elganon and Gillenane care little for the elves. They will find worshippers among those hungry for power. Tyrants and bullies. The cruel and the corrupt, who fear their own vulnerability and seize any chance to feel strong. If you hunt them, they will lead you to Elganon and Gillenane.
Thank you. I'll go poke at the cruel and the corrupt, and we'll see what we find.
The Veravas, the lighthouse Soluvian, can take you anywhere, if you master its secrets. Have you done so?
Not yet, but we've got one of the Veil Jumpers working on it. She'll get it sorted, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes, I suppose we will. And when you speak with Varric, please tell him that I regret what happened.
So Solus told the truth about the gods.
You heard? It's bad, Varric. If you'd seen Demeter's crossing...
The team needs to act fast. And it can't do that with me leading from a bed. You've got to take point on this.
I didn't come in here trying to take your job, Varric.
I know you didn't. But it's what the team needs right now.
You sure? Nev got hurt because she listened to me.
Rook, when I put this team together, what did I look for? A detective to find the Dreadwolf, and a scout to get us the lay of the land. Exactly the people he'd expect me to recruit. Disciplined, predictable. And then there's you. Remember when we first met, kid? That scheming noble locked us up inside that tomb. Tightest corner I've ever been in. But you kept your cool. Fought off the Guardians. Discovered an escape route.
And triggered a cave-in?
The big one. Ravani leaders lined up to yell at you for that, but you've got a knack, kid.
For what?
Finding a way through the wildest shit I've ever seen. With a plan that no one expects. On the best day of his life, Solus wouldn't see you coming, Rook. And don't worry. I'll still be here to talk if you need me.
I'll let you get some rest.
You're gonna be fine, Rook. Hey, one last thing before you go. I've been racking my brain thinking of contacts who might help us with these gods.
You got any ideas?
Nothing. But being a leader isn't about having all the answers yourself. It's about knowing who does. Nev has connections to a whole world that Harding and I barely know. Might be worth talking to her.
Will do. Thanks, Varric.
Anytime. I wish I could be out there with you, Rook.
Nev, you've got wisps.
Yeah, they came with the place. But you're here for leads. You want allies to go after the gods? I've got places to look, if we can get anywhere but Arlathan.
Valara's working on it. What have you got?
Let's start with the angles we know. The gods are corrupt magic personified. Who do we hire to fight that? First, The Antivan Crows.
You want to fight gods with assassins?
Not just any assassin, their most feared mage killer, the Demon of Virantium.
Well, I'm sold. Now we charm the crows.
Fingers crossed. The demon got his nickname taking out blood mages and Venatori. From everything I've learned, the reputation was earned. I never uncovered his real name, and there's been fewer stories the last few years, but the crows would know. I can set a meeting with their bosses.
This is great. Thanks, Nev.
It's what I'm here for.
You said the crows were first. What's next?
A trip home.
Back to Minrathous.
Capital city and heart of Tevinter. An empire of mages that knows a thing or two about corrupt magic.
Tevinter Authority.
Won't help and can't be trusted, which is why we talk to the Shadow Dragons. They're a resistance group that fights slavers, blood magic, and imperial corruption. They've got eyes and ears everywhere, including mine. If the gods enter the Empire, we might get something. Besides, I owe them an update.
These people sound great. I mean, if they're anything like you.
No one's as good as they seem. But they try.
So we talk to the crows in Antiva and the shadow dragons in Minrathous.
I wouldn't mind checking in on my neighborhood either. If Balara's ready for us.
Yeah. Should check how things are going.
Almost there. I just have to... Shit! Sorry.
Can I help?
No, I got it. Mostly, mirrors are funny things, aren't they? Reflections. They distort reality, no matter what you try. And there's the trick. Control that distortion. There you have it.
What is that place?
If I had to guess, It's the Fade. Another part of it, I mean.
Didn't Morrigan say this Illuvian could go anywhere? Didn't think that meant elsewhere in the Fade.
She called it the Veer of Us. Freedom of ways. I wonder...
Maybe Morrigan got this one wrong? Or misspoke?
Morgan can be a little inscrutable sometimes, but she chooses her words very carefully.
Some of the older texts talk about a place in the Fade where all the Illuvians meet. A crossroads where you could travel across all of Thedas in just minutes.
Right. We saw something similar when we were chasing Solus. I wonder if it's the same.
It is alike, and it is not.
Who are you? And how did you get here?
The Wolf's Fang. You carry it now. Old paths. A new journey. Through there. I will wait.
Well, can't tell if that's a trap or not. But we're short on options. One way to find out.
And it didn't feel dangerous, you know? Almost more... sad.
We have no idea what or who they are, so let's be careful. We need to be ready for anything.
And we still don't know what this Illuvian's gonna do. One of us should probably stay behind in case it closes.
Good point.
Just tell us when you're ready to go, Rook, and then we can figure out what's going on.
Hello again. Who are you?
A caretaker. I go where I am needed, Dweller. Now, I am here.
And where is here?
The crossroads.
Can you help us? I get the feeling this is no place to get lost.
The Evanurus hunger for the crossroads. Their influence is spreading. Blight, death, madness. They send their minions to claim this place. The crossroads is in a time of need, Dweller. I cannot protect you.
You don't have to. If you're standing against the gods, then consider us reinforcements.